All right, good morning. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. You know what? We've got a little bit of news out of training camp, mini camp, whatever you want to call it, camp, Lions Talk Live morning show. And we've got I think, some interesting tidbits that are starting to emerge. You're starting to see the improvement on the defensive side of the ball. You're starting to see some players who are making steps forward in their progression. And you know what? You're seeing some people that are going through some real learning opportunities, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Before we get into the show, though, this morning, you guys all know the drill. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,800 subs. Also, if you take a second out of your day, a moment of time, and hit the thumbs up button, surely would be thankful. Last but never least, I am a working individual, and outside of being a YouTuber, I'm also a coach, scout, and a realtor. So if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, give me a call, shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. All right, welcome to Lions Talk Live. You know what? We've got a whole lot of news and notes I think me, and everybody in between want to go over this morning. So let's start off with just some news and notes out of some injuries, people that are a little banged up for the Detroit Lions, some people that did not participate in yesterday's portion of the camps open to reporters. So going through the injury updates, let's scroll down and get through it. Did not participate: Taylor Deckard, DJ Reader, defensive tackle Kyle Pico, Terrion Arnold, who was originally supposed to take part in all the practice, did not. He was held out after being downgraded after full participation. So at some point during the mini camp, he was pulled aside and said, all right, why don't you take the rest of the day off? Emmanuel Mosley also did not participate, and probably not a big surprise there. Craig James, cornerback, Craig James, and then Brian Branch. Brian Branch, I think most of us anticipate he's not going to be back and with the team until probably training camp, maybe even the preseason. Including, spotted a spot on the field were the first appearances from Taylor Deckard, but again, did not participate in DJ Reader, but he remains on the sidelines, just going through things with trainers and things of that sort. Arnold was mentally going through reps, spending most of his time alongside Kirby Joseph, who carried the play sheet most of practice on the sideline. So Kirby Joseph, in case you weren't aware, did have hip surgery this offseason, still in the recovery process. So it's good to see them all out there, but not doing much. Now, in very minimal work for training camp, a mini camp yesterday, Gibbs was out there, upgraded from non-participation. Frank the Tank Ragnow, again, just like Gibbs, upgraded from non-full participation. And Marcus Davenport also. Kirby Joseph, like I said, not taking part in things at this time. Limited work was Kevin Zettler and James Houston. Houston was upgraded from full non-participation the day before. Ernest Rakestraw still coming back from some nicks and knacks during his collegiate career. So upgraded from non-full participation to at least limited basis. All right. No apparent limitations were Christian Mahogany, wide receiver Antonio Green, Derek Barnes, and Alex Anzalone. So they're back to normal routines. All right, that's going to do it for the injury update. Now let's get talking about, as you can see in the thumbnail, we had some interceptions. We had some guys making some plays. And you know what? The defense, which we've been talking about being, at least on paper, vastly improved over a year ago. You know what? They came out yesterday, made play after play after play. This included multiple interceptions. So interception number 1 for the Detroit Lions defense. That came on Brandon Joseph picking off a pass of Jared Goff intended for Amon-Ra St. Brown. This came part of 11-on-11 red zone drills. Goff stared down St. Brown and didn't see safety Brandon Joseph dropping his zone coverage, made a great play on the ball. Then you have the Hendon Hooker getting picked off by Khalil Dorsey. Now, this is a pick 6. He jumped the route, undercut it, and took it to the house. You probably can find the video of it. It's around online if you haven't seen it yet. But, give Khalil Dorsey a lot of credit on that. Hooker stared down stared down his wide receiver. And unfortunately for him, he's going to have, he's basically a rookie. He's going to go through some struggles. and he's definitely had some of them this off season so far. But that's part of the learning curve. You've seen, you've seen Peyton Manning, you've seen Brett Favre, you've seen Warren Moon, you've seen everybody you can think of. A lot of quarterbacks go through what he's going through, and you know what? At some point, it will slow down for him and then improve. But it was a rough day for Hooker. He struggled with some accuracy issues, consistently taking simulated sacks while holding onto the ball too long, going through his reads and progressions. That will change in time as he gets more experience. He did finish the day strong, though, scoring touchdowns on 2 of 4 7-on-7 red zone attempts to finish practice with a couple nice throws to Maurice Alexander and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Donovan Peoples-Jones is having a strong camp, and that's probably a worthy of a video at its own point at some point, maybe this week. But, Hooker, I think we all agree, he is basically a rookie quarterback. He's going through some learning curves, and it happens. Now, as you could also see in the thumbnail for today's video, Jack Campbell is not struggling in camp. Jack Campbell is making a firm impression, and we've heard it talked about in OTAs. You've now seen it, obviously, with the mini camp being further exacerbated. Interception number 3 was Jack Campbell in situational drills with a tip pick, so the offense was moving down the field after being put in a tough position. Down 4 points with 47 seconds remaining, starting at their own 20-yard line with no timeouts. They had to go 80 yards in 47 seconds. Amon-Ra St. Brown kicked off the drive with a solid 15-yard gain. Also stopped the clock by getting out of bounds. Then Sam Laporta picked up back-to-back receptions for 33 yards, down to the Lions' 42 yards with just 17 seconds left. And that's when Captain Jack stepped in. Captain Jack was being beat pretty thoroughly throughout Jack Campbell was beaten pretty thoroughly by Sam Laporta on reception, but he made amends on the next play by nabbing an interception. So when the pass came out, it was tipped up in the air, and Jack Campbell ran under it, picked it off, and took it out, ending the Lions' drive. So kudos to him. He broke on the ball while it was up in the air, found it, located it, and then secured it. So good move for him. And then on the next drive for the Detroit Lions, Campbell jumped up and again made another dominant red zone drill stop for the defense. During the final set of the red zone drills and the first with the first teamers, all starting on the inside the 10-yard line, it was an absolute bloodbath for the defense. Goff went 0 for 4 with an interception. Carlton Davis blanketed Green for an incompletion. Malafanu had sticky coverage on Laporta, forced another incompletion, and Goff couldn't find fountain on another attempt. And that's when Jack Campbell stepped in on the 4th down and secured a would-be pass intended for St. Brown, ended up being an interception. So kudos for Captain Jack. He is making plays from all reports from everybody, all reporters at camp this week, all saying the same stuff. He looks like he's made a significant jump forward in his progressions and abilities. So, kudos for the defense for making plays. What I will say, if you remember the last several years, that this team has gone through mini camps, training camp, etc. Yes, the defense normally has an advantage over a lot of different people, a lot of different offensive concepts. But you've also seen the offense not struggle nearly to this extent in the last few years. What I'm taking out of it is, one, the coverage is a whole lot better. You can actually have people that go out there and cover people, because at the end of the day, that's been one of the biggest problems facing this defense in the last few seasons. You just don't have guys that can maintain win rates over people like Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. I mean, whoever you want to throw over there. But what we are seeing so far is that the defense can do that, and they're able to get home a consistent amount of the time to put pressure on the quarterbacks. Now, will the offense look better in time? I think we all agree, absolutely. But so far, this defense is looking pretty stout. All right, let's go over and see what you guys have to say about all this and get in a few other topics out of the way. By the way, next week I will be gone on vacation. So the Sarge himself, Tony Libretto, is going to take control of the Duke crew for 1 week while I am gone. I'm gone on assignment to parts unknown. And I will not be available to jump online. I'm guessing the vast majority of the time. Plus, there's going to be a significant time difference from where I'm going from here. So we'll see what can happen. But Sarge has been kind enough to at least try to take over the show for the week while I'm gone to keep you guys thoroughly entertained. All right, Moonscar, welcome aboard the Lions Talk Live train. Do crew reporting. Absolutely, and good morning to you too, my friend. Let's see, Bo, good morning, Do crew. It's still hooked on a feeling. Unka, unka, chunka. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And you know what? Hey, I got to remember today's Wednesday. That's my bad. It's a woo-free Wednesday, so I have to just say woo from here on out. So on Wednesdays, we'll make it woo-free, make Don Bird. And, you know, I get there are some other people that don't like the woo. So, hey, we'll try to do that on Wednesdays. Lions Blood, what do you got the top of the morning, Duke Crew? It's been a while since I've been here. Missed you. Well, we've missed you too. Welcome back. Hopefully having a great morning, my friend. Matthew, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Woo, woo, woo. I got to do it a little different on Wednesdays. All right, Moonscar, I heard Goff struggled also. 4 picks yesterday. Yeah, there were 4 picks. Not all of them by Goff, but Goff definitely had his moments too. But again, I get offenses need time to get on the same page. They'll improve exponentially in the next few weeks as they go through the mini camp, training camp, preseason, all that stuff. Really until they get into the first few weeks of the regular season, they're probably going to not really be on full steam ahead. But what we can say is the defense is making plays, and that's something we just haven't seen in the last several years. Lions fan number 1, good morning all. I read that Captain Jack is looking real good so far. The quarterbacks, not so much. No, I think you're spot on. You've seen a lot of the different quarterbacks out there have their moments where they've clicked, and other moments where, you know, not so much. What we can say about Captain Jack is just, you know, he's no longer a rookie. The game is slowing down. And I thought when he got to about 75% of last year's season behind you, so, you know, wherever that's going to put you, we'll just say the Denver game, that's when you could really see Jack Campbell start to really elevate and rise. You know, he was making some plays and a steady progression upwards before that, but you got to that point. I mean, he did start, I want to say it was like 12 straight games for the Lions, even a couple of the playoff games. So take that into account. The coaching staff could see this progression. I thought, you know, just being a casual observer of the games and watching it down, watching the game film, watching the games live, his, you know, motions, his fluidity on the field was much improved. To me, what that is telling is that he's no longer thinking out there. He's just instinctively doing things. And, you know, I can't say I was watching, you know, mini camp yesterday. I wasn't. But from what you can tell from the reports, I have a pretty good idea he's now just out there playing versus having to process the whole thing. I know when we talked about using him as an edge last year, when you watched him try to, you know, shed blocks and stuff, just was, you know, he might as well have been on Mars. It just was not something he was comfortable with. So you watch his hand movements, how he tried to dip, rip, get rid of them. You know, he had to think there was a way through. My anticipation is this year, you're going to see Jack Campbell used as a blitzer a lot more, maybe even an edge, and he's probably going to look a lot cleaner out there doing so. All right, let's see. Mike the Ring, Gunny, howdy, Dan, Lions Faisal. I love the camp battles, 90 men fighting for 53 plus 16 practice squad. Woo, yeah, woo free. Remember, I gotta not yell the woo, but yeah, I agree. Everybody's out there. Hey, you probably have an idea where you're at the picking order. You probably know if you're really on the threat to not make the team, or if you got a chance to be in the 53. So they're going to battle. They're all going to fight. Plus, this team is pretty hardwired to want to succeed and, you know, push each other forward. So I think it's going to be a real interesting training camp preseason for a lot of these guys. It's going to be sad to see some of them get cut because some of these guys are going to be absolutely diamonds in the rough for other teams who acquire them once they're gone from here. All right, Lions Blood, glad to hear positive things about the defense for a change. Brighter days ahead. Make or break year for AG. I'll go with that. I agree with you, Lions Blood. This is the best team or the defensive unit he's probably had his time here in Detroit. He's got the secondary. He's got pass rush. He's got the, you know, second level of the defense. Now it's which guys am I going to roll with? Who's going to push themselves forward, get it even better? You know, that remains to be seen. But if this defense doesn't do well this year, Aaron Glenn, right, wrong, or indifferent, he is the defensive coordinator. He's going to rise or drown, I guess you could say, with how this team performs this year. All right, Anthony. Good morning, Duke Crew family. Back at you, Anthony. Thanks for always being a part of the show and helping out. Steve Rogers, greetings, salutations, all. Campbell might just end up being the man. A lot of people rushed to judge him and said he was a bust. This guy might end up being pretty good. Yeah, I guess you could look at a lot of rookies from last year's class, or maybe just every year we have a rookie class. And if kids don't come out of the gate, being the greatest of all time, a lot of people kind of come down on him. Well, we should have drafted him. We should have drafted him. I would say look back at a lot of the redrafts from last year already. And you know what? There was a strong amount of the fan base that said we should have taken Jalen Carter at number 6. What were we thinking? Nowadays, maybe not so much. There might be a whole lot of people that said, you know what, that was the best move of the draft is trading down, getting Gibbs, getting Laporta instead of Carter. And no disrespect to Carter, but you got 2 great players versus 1. Jack Campbell, to your point, Steve Rogers, that a lot of people thought, man, he's kind of a bust. We should have taken this guy. We should have taken that guy. But it does seem like about middle of the year, 75% of the year last year, you go through, Jack Campbell starts making an impact. And this offseason so far, it sounds like that impact is continuing to rise and shine. So good point. All right, Dennis, hey, Duke Crew, and Dan the man. Hey to you, Dennis. Hopefully you have an outstanding morning, my friend. Dave, Coach, maybe you should start chat when you do. It doesn't get relevant until the end of chat. Yeah, man, I don't have a good way to do it. I know there are some people that post their videos, the lives are, a week ahead of time. Heck, man, a month ahead of time. And it doesn't seem to be an issue for them. I don't know what the right way is to do it. I post the video around whatever it is, 20, 25 minutes before the show. And hey, a lot of people like to hop on and have a little bit of a pregame chat. There you go. Bo, all camp is in need of hot summer nights. Yes, it will get hotter and hotter, especially you get to July and such. So you are correct. It will be some hot nights out there, hot days for the players. Jedi, good morning, Duke Riffic gang. There you go. Good morning to you, Anthony. It's hard to compare him with the other 3. Some take longer to develop. Yeah, not everybody's on the same progression or time frame. Some will rise faster. Some will fall faster than others. So sorry, didn't think about turning my phone off. My bad. Dave, 4 interceptions for Goff. Yeah, I know he had a few, and then the other quarterback struggled as well. So good sign for the defense, though. Anthony, just listen to that song by Van Halen. All right, very good. Quentin, great sanitations, y'all. Man, everybody, this defense is causing pain to the offense. Might be the first time in history our defense looks so good. There could be actually a lot of truth to that there, Quentin. All offenses, because offense is mostly timing and rhythms, being on the same page with route tree negotiations. Hey, getting zone coverage. I'm going to break off here. And it does take time for the quarterbacks and receivers / tight ends or whoever to get on the same page. When I see this setup out of the defense, I'm going here. And that takes, it just takes repetitions. With that being said, and I know we've talked about it already this morning, you've seen a lot of notes over the past couple of years where the offense just, they shine very quickly in camp. That always told me, man, this defense really struggles with pressure and coverage. That's not the case so far this offseason. They are covering and they are getting after the quarterbacks. All right, Pat, defensive end Bates has been looking good at camp, Coach. Woo! Oh, yeah. And yes, woo free. So I got to not do the woo-woo thing. I just got to say it. But anyways, Bates has, to your point, there have been more and more notes on him. I'm not going to say he's the greatest ever. He's going to answer everything, but he's been making an impact. Now, this is still without pads. This is still not preseason. So everything we're talking about this morning, take it with a grain of salt. I will say the quarterbacks are legitimately struggling, but that's a credit to the defense, I believe, because they're mostly out there playing man-to-man. They are mixing in some zones, and it's just the timing shows up, or the lack of timing and repetitions, in my view, shows up a whole lot more and faster when you're playing man-to-man, and the receivers can't just read and react. The quarterbacks have to throw into tighter windows. But Bates, Pat, you're 100% right. He is looking like a sound pickup so far this offseason. All right, Anthony. Surprise! Nate did better than our starters and Hooker. Well, one of the things is just I guess there's two ways to look at it, and I'm not saying take anything away from what Sudfeld's done so far, but Sudfeld is a veteran. He's going to know how to read things better, from a defensive standpoint, what they're doing, than probably a rookie and like Hooker. He's also facing some of the the threes and twos, maybe even the fours as far as the strings, and so because of that experience, because of that knowledge, he's probably having a few more moments. But he's also been like every other quarterback. He's he's throwing the ball to the other side, the other defense or the defense a little bit more than he should. All right, see, Robert, greetings and salutations back at you. Bo, there's no debate on the bets. Defensive end bets. Do you hear? Yes, I hear you. How about that? Clark, good morning, everyone. There's no such thing as a struggling Hooker. All right, fair statement. Bo, Clark, have you ever met a LBFM? I don't know what that means. So let's see. Moonscar Summer Nights queued up and rocking. Well, enjoy the music, my friend. All right, Clark, can't say that I have. All right, Eddie, good morning. So what do we make of the offensive struggles? Just normal preseason stuff, off-season stuff. Going through some things, and like I said, they're probably struggling a little bit more because they're facing a ton of man-to-man coverage, which is exacerbating everybody not being on the same page as of yet. All right, see, Bo, that will get you some hot summer nights. All right, Trump, woo, oh yeah, 100%, woo free. So I got to not do the actual woo. All right, at least on this Wednesday. Bo, Big Eddie, it's nothing but a summer thing. Defense usually starts faster. I would agree with that, 100%. And Susan Scott's greeting sanitation, everyone. 6 weeks to go until training camp. It is getting down there. You know what? And it'll be here in no time. Matthew, won't make anything of the struggles on either side until the pads go on and we see them full speed. Yeah, that's probably fair. We get to, say, the second week of preseason games, and we're still hearing stuff out of practice that, hey, picks are being thrown, guys are on the, not on the same page, whatever. That would start being, to your point, Matthew, a little bit more alarming, and it'd also be probably some strong evidence this defense may really have improved quite a bit. All right, Moonscar, yeah, Eddie, Bo is right. Same story every year. Defense ahead of the offense. Yeah, usually is. I agree. Patrick, greetings, salutations all. I'm not worried about Hooker having some struggles, being that this is his first NFL camp. I still think he'll be just fine once the rust comes off and he gets more reps. Woo. And yeah, I agree. You get him up to speed a little bit more and more. Let the game slow down, just like we're talking with Jack Campbell. The game is clearly slowing down for him. It'll be no different with any quarterback. Once they get enough experience, repetitions, the game will slow down, and now reactions kick in versus processing and thinking. So I'm with you on that. Big Daz, what's up, Dan and the Duke crew? You're running a well-oiled machine, Dan. Laugh out loud. Love hearing all the interactions. Hey, man, I enjoy it. You guys all seem to enjoy it, so thanks for being here every morning, all of you guys. Phil, will the Lion buy a real backup quarterback or be satisfied with crippled Hooker? Phil, that's a great question and one I can't answer. I know there's been talk of, oh gosh, who was it? Tannehill, the former Tennessee quarterback, maybe being somebody to bring in. They could bring in a veteran quarterback. I think right now they're probably just waiting to see what they have with Hooker, seeing how he progresses. I mean, if every day in camp Hooker's getting better, it probably alleviates some of the need to go out and get somebody else. But if he struggles over and over and maybe even looks like he's dipping, then I would not be surprised if somewhere in training camp they bring in another veteran. So wait and see, though. Wait and see. All right, Gary, good morning. Duke crew, back at you. Silver, what do you got? Hooker needs time. That is all. Yeah, more than likely. I would agree with that. Jesse, good morning, all. Defense normally have an edge at the start of camp. With that said, man, it sounds like this year's defense is making plays way more than the past. I would agree with that, 100%. They seem to be standing out earlier and doing more in camp than the past few years. Silver, good morning, coach and everyone. Back at you. Patrick, I also think Jack Campbell is going to be a beast this year. There's a lot of people talking about it, and yeah, I think you could be spot on. Big Daz, I don't know if this is good for the defense or bad for the offense. Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe, just maybe. Brent, good morning. Hooker will be fine. He's basically a rookie quarterback. I agree with that. Yeah, last year, it's sort of like Jameson Williams' first year. I mean, he did get on the field a little bit, but yeah, he really was in my opinion, he was really a rookie last year who just, happened to get a few extra reps the season before. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Hooker needs time. He really is just a rookie this year. I'm so happy Jack is having a strong camp. Think he's going to be a big impact on the defense. I agree. I think he might end up, like I said, I think he might be used as a pass rusher, and at times Mike, the Sam. Yeah, I think he's going to get moved around the field quite a bit because that dude, yeah, he's something. All right, Hookadoo, good morning, Coach, and to the great members of the new crew. Whoa, and back at you, Hookadoo. Hopefully you have a great morning. Let's see, Trump's Campbell will get even faster as he learns the game more. I 100% agree. The game is slowing down for Jack Campbell. He's no longer the rookie having to think, all right, this means this means that. Imagine all those responsibilities going through your head. That slows down the feet, that slows down the mind, etc. Now that he's not having to think all the time, yeah, he could speed up and he could really have just a huge, impactful year. All right, Surfer, what do you got? Yesterday, I forgot to mention Ragnow in the league's top 10, but I am going to throw one at you. Terranaro might be in the top 10 by the end of the season. Food for thoughts. He might be. We'll have to wait and see. And I'm not going to push him into that category yet, but it is set up where if he learns things quickly, processes the information, yeah, he can make some real plays on the ball, and that's obviously going to help the defense. It's also going to help push him, like you're saying, Surfer, up the list. Franz, good evening, everyone. How are some of the injured players coming along? I would say from all the reports, it sounds like just basic stuff, protecting some guys, holding them out, letting them recover more. So, yeah, it sounds like everybody's come along pretty well. Some of the guys even got elevated from no participation to, moderated participation or limited. So it seems like they're doing okay. All right, Dave, I predict the top I predict top 3 defense this year. Wow, top 3. That would be something if the defense really rises that much on the list. Man, if they pull that off, yeah, we're going to be a hard out in the postseason, the regular season, and yeah, we'll have a shot at the Super Bowl. All right, Detroit D, green sanitation, everyone. Gold Lions, back at you. Good morning, my friend. Bo Haley to the King Brad Holmes. All right, I'm assuming that's hail to the King Brad Holmes, exclamation point. Bring defense back to the D. Yes, bring the D back. Just say, Kate, good morning, all. One prime. Back at you. Trump's number 1 defense this year. Man, you guys got some stuff going on. You got number 3, you got number 1. Either way, I think we'd all be happy if it was the top 10. But if we actually get to where our top number 1 or 3, yeah, this will be a great year. All right, I had to clear my throat. Sorry about that. Spell check strikes again. It does, man. It does. Rocky, good morning. All this defense needs time to gel, and Hooker should be rusty from all of his time off. But what about the into golf through interception golf through yesterday? Doesn't sound good for any quarterbacks. Like I said, I think you got stickier coverage, you got better coverage, and you have tougher style of defense to throw it against. In time, the offense should catch up, but it doesn't mean the defense isn't going to make plays then either. All right, Silver Server, Campbell from Iowa. In a minute, he was an NFL and in Detroit City of all places. Motown, Marvin Gaye, Nate Boone, Kraft, bless him, and all the rest, exclamation point. He needs time to adjust, learn, get comfortable. Yeah, and I think, like I said, he's slowing things down mentally, so he'll improve and get faster just because of that. All right, Motown, Mitch, Green Sanitation's coach, Duke Crew, Lions rule, Bears drool. I agree fully, and good morning, Motown. All right, let's see. Bo, interceptions, it's a trick. There you go. Trump, Jake Bates will be a Lion on June 16th. Bank on it. Woo. And, man, if he does end up being, I mean, I won't be sad because he is a weapon, and he's a weapon that most do not have. He didn't end the season in the UFL the strongest he could have. That also being said, he can probably get some more reps and get a little bit more accurate with some additional coaching. Motown, remember long, boring period here, just the underwear Olympics going on. Yep, but it does provide some tidbits, some things to talk about. So, yeah, enjoy what we have. Big D, morning, guys. Love the team already. It is sounding like it's going to be a great season for Detroit, and I'm liking everything we're hearing. I'll have a second video out later today about a surprise Lion player that we may all want to pay a whole lot of attention to. All right, and Jason, and that's a shameless plug, by the way. Jason, greetings and salutations. Dude Crew, back at you, Jay. Hopefully you're having a good morning, Jason. Phil, Jake Bates will not be a Lion. Uh-oh, we're going to have the great debate. Will he or won't he be? I guess we'll know in a couple weeks. All right, Pat, Jack Campbell looked great yesterday. Yes, he did, and he continues to shine, rise and shine. So, you know what? We'll see. I don't want to put too much pressure on him or anything, or whatever, go over the top with it. But Jack Campbell, I think he's going to have a real good year. All right, Amy, good morning. Dan of the Duke Crew, exclamation point, Super Bowl. Woo! Yeah, I gotta make it woo free today. Woo free Wednesdays. All right, Trumps, don't be a negative Nancy Philly. There you go. Silver, everybody talked about Badgley, 2 misses, but I heard Risden say he was on fire, hitting 20 in a row after that, and some 60-yarders as well. Go Money Badgley. He's definitely had a strong camp, Surfer, without question. He's done some things to develop his skill set, his leg strength, his accuracy. So it'll be interesting what the coaching staff in the front office does. Do they just ride with him, or are they saying, "Hey, we got to go and get Jake Bates or somebody else"? And wait and see. Moonscar, I will not be surprised if Bates signs with us. I would not be surprised either. I would not be surprised also if they keep Badgley. Phil, will Chicago and Minnesota surprise everyone this year? I think Minnesota is going to be better than anticipated. I also think Chicago, it all comes down, I hate to say it, but one person, and it's the quarterback. If Caleb Williams has a strong rookie year, then yes, Chicago is going to be a threat, not just to the NFC North, but the whole NFC, because they do have a lot of good pieces. Let's be honest, that defense is very good. The offense has got some real strong weapons. Now, can the person under center try to make all the right reads and calls? That's, to me, where it all comes down to. Ed, Lions Talk Live is the future of Lions YouTube. I'll go with that. And, man, wouldn't that be something? And book it. Booked. Let's see, Joseph. Well, Hooker will get better, exclamation point. He's been out of the game for a while, now, so he's going to be a little rusty in his college games. He had a low interception rate. Yeah, and you don't want to overreact to anything in the off season, but you also want to take notes on it. I think as long as you see a steady progression with him upwards, he's going to be fine. Ed, I can't wait to see this defense this season. Even if our O takes a slight step back, if the defense can make a major bump, we will be fine. Yeah, and this defense, I think they're going to make that push up. I think they're going to get noticeably better. Ed, should we be worried with players like Gibbs aren't there right now, or should we be worried if they aren't there for training camp? Right now, I would say not a worry at all. I mean, one could argue and go the Wayne Fonts way and just say, we're not really going to let someone like Gibbs touch the field until the games matter. Let him sit out, just work on stuff on the sideline, work on stuff with positional coaches, and go that route. I could totally see that. All right, Surfer, what do you got? And I would not count out Stephen Gilmore. He's small but talented, sticky. Yeah, and as long as he can cover, I think that's what they're going to be looking for, because they are going to mostly play man-to-man principles in the secondary. They are going to rotate a lot of bodies, and you know what? The more you can keep guys, covered like glue, the harder it's going to be for opposing quarterbacks, especially when they're getting blitzed. Phil, Goff looked weak so far. Hooker disappointing. I'm very worried. We must play 4 quarters. Yeah, but it is early, so we get to the end of July and we're still having some issues on the offense. Then I think you got a legitimate worry. But where we are now, yeah, wait and see. All right, Courtney, what do you got? Lions defense will be number 1 in 2024. I'll go with that 100%. It'd be great to have the number 1 offense in the world. Defense in the world. Brosi, the Sarge, yeah, he'll be stepping in for me, or at least I got to try to get all the program commands, the different things you use when making YouTube, the different programs to set up the live and everything. He's never done that before. He's been on the show before as a guest, but that also means I'm doing all the work and just, hey, you click a button, you hop on, and you talk. So I'm going to try to get him caught up to speed, I guess, in the next couple of days, because it's either that or there's no show for a week. I'd rather have the substitute teacher. The sergeant and I even talked about it. Maybe he'd roll a little TV, out there and say, hey, today's movie is going to be or whatever, just to make fun of him being the substitute or whatever. But he's going to give it a try. He's going to give it a try and try to make sure there's a morning show for you guys for the 7 days I'm gone. In other words, Jen says no show. Well, there'll be a couple things in play. One, where we're going, there's about a 5-hour difference. So, the show comes on at 7 a.m. So that'd be, don't hold me to this, about noon their time where we'd be at. And just with it being vacation, she's less than excited about the idea of me having to get somewhere to do a broadcast for, 30 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever. So, probably not a good idea for me to fight her on that. All right, Joseph. Oh, yeah. Good morning, coach and crew and Duke crew. Yes, good morning to you, Joseph. Miles, good morning. Say Sarge is a lot of fun. Yeah, let him have fun. He'll probably stumble a little bit, but I have no doubt you guys will help him along the way. Kurt, word of advice, please don't panic over OTAs. Yeah, 100%. OTAs, minicamp, yeah. Take some tidbits from it, but don't push anybody into the Hall of Fame and don't cut anybody from the team just because of off-season stuff. Phil, don't like the woo? Find another show. Yeah, and just, hey, 1 day a week, we'll make it a woo-free Wednesdays. So just trying to help out. You can't make everybody happy, but, hey, I don't mind helping out a little bit. Kurt, what up, Duke crew? What up to you, Kurt? Thanks for always being a part of the show and always being a great interview when you come on. Phil, this offense should not need much time to show up. No, I think you'll see steady improvement every day in camp. Joseph, be careful on your trip, Coach. Yeah, I don't want to make any bad steps on this trip because, that could really burn me up. All right, Patrick, defenses are always ahead of offenses. Yes, I would say that's pretty much correct. Moonscar, what up, though? Kurt, agree 100%. No pads to still right? Question mark. Not even close to live fire. Yeah, it will ramp up, but it'll ramp up slowly. And when we get to July, that's when you probably really want to start paying attention to stuff. But these are great repetitions for a lot of people. Broski, Kurt Steele, exactly. OTAs, minicamp, training camp, preseason, doesn't matter. Only thing that matter are the real games. Yes, the only things that matter are the real games, what you do when the games matter, when the kick goes up in the air. Broski, Kurt Steele, have you ever been called Superman since you are the Man of Steel? Now, that's a great question, and we'll see what our Kurt Steele insider has to say. Moonscar, yep, some things apply to evaluating Caleb Williams. Too early to tell. 100%. I know somebody brought it up in the chat like a week or so ago, saying that he's already labeled a bust or whatever. Man, it's way too early for that because the difference between this time of year and August, let alone the season, is pretty significant. Phil, is the show an unsteady offense caused by coaching or players not knowing their roles? There's a multitude of things, Phil. Like I said, if you put in a lot of offense is timing and rhythm. So a lot of these guys haven't gone through anything in 4 months. So getting that timing back, getting that rhythm back, getting that understanding that when you plant here, you're going there, it takes a little bit of time. It takes some reps. So that's the biggest thing I would say. All right, Miles Marker, it's good for Goff. He's got to be challenged to get more honed and to shake it up a bit too. And I'm a Goff slabby. Yeah, well, I agree. Pushing him into the fire will make him, grind a little bit more, get a little bit sharper. And the more competition that there's around makes everybody better. So I'm with you all there. Kurt Steele, what do you got? Yes, sir. My late co-host, Jim, called me the Man of Steel. Well, good. And I know he's been not with us for a while. So, I'm glad to see that Jim's still present in things and that you are always the Man of Steel. All right, Patrick. Hey, who doesn't like the woo? Ain't that un-American to not like the woo? Could be, man. Yeah, could be. Phil, ban no woo Wednesday. Fair enough. Let's. All right, Bo. Kurt, Old nickname when I was in the Army, Superman. Only guy called me Plastic. All right. All right. One guy called you Plastic. He had jokes. Hey, nothing wrong with having a jokester in the group. Patrick, football, hot dogs, apple pie, and a woo. That's America. It is. It is. Don't worry. The woo will return probably tomorrow morning. Silver Server, woo free day, question mark. That is a great idea and a good beginning. Hey, it's a compromise. How about that? Phil, love the Lions, but I try to keep expectations low until we play games. Yeah, don't overreact or pump anything up until we actually get to the games. All right, Broski, Kurt Steele, haha. Did you tour overseas? Desert Storm? Only he will be able to answer that one. Bo, let's do why do there's no Woo Wednesdays and come on with a crew type alternative. Oh yeah, all right, all the above and perhaps Phil, ban anyone disrespecting the Woo. Yes, hope you guys got a kick out of the Ric Flair Horton Here's a Woo picture that I put up yesterday promoting the morning show. All right, Moonscar, sounds like Silver that you are in agreement. So that's an oh yeah from you. There you go. Silver Server, give us some Ric Flairs, huh? We wouldn't want anybody really disappointed. There, yeah. Well, Ric Flair is the Woo, so there you go. Phil, support the Woo, 100%. That sounds like a shirt right there. Patrick, Jack Campbell is a downhill defensive player and will lay the wood on people. He puts his load right where it needs to be, just like Branch. No, yeah, he's going to hit people. He's going to search and destroy and knock them into the ground. Patrick, Phil, I agree. Support the Woo. Phil, no Woo, no show, no do, no crew. Support the Woo. Ban no Woo Wednesdays. Woo. All right, we are really getting woo-rific here. Phil, do the Woo. Shannon, every team defense have the upper hand. They know all the plays, and they know the same team. Yeah, they are on the same team, so I agree with that. And good morning, Shannon. Patrick, it looks to me like the defensive people have been studying their playbooks. Yeah, and I would say a lot of their concepts are probably a little easier to shake the rust off of than the offensive ones. Phil, woo till you can't woo no more, 100%. Broski, they only have one wide receiver to cover in St. Brown. Laporta is a weapon, but not sure a cornerback will always be on him. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it's a good point. Probably not always going to have a corner on Laporta. All right, Phil, Suffield is a GOAT. Yes, he might be a GOAT. Woo. Let's see, Trump, if you don't like the Woo, don't let the door hit you in the butt later, cry babies. All right? Surfer, I like Cowboys, just not the Woo. Now, if it were to be a cowgirl, that might be more amusing. All right, we'll see what the cowgirls have to say. Moonscar, but Phil, it scares the fish away. Could lose that catch of a lifetime. All right, that's a fair point. We'll have to see what Ed, if he's fishing, has to say about the Woo. Pat, what are the odds? Question mark. The Lions still signed kicker Bates from the Panthers. I don't know what the odds are, but I'll go with at least 50-50 at this point. How about that? Phil, laughing. Phil, I woo after the fish is in the boat. Probably a smart move. Pat, why are we woo free today, Coach? Just to try something out, man. You know, can't make everybody happy, but hey, it's something different. Sometimes you want to switch things up. Dominic, good morning from Texas! Exclamation point. Got my black Brian Branch jersey ready. Can't wait for the season to start. Let's go Lions, 100%. Hey, we are, I think somebody said earlier in the comments section, about 6 weeks away from training camp. So it is getting here. Moonscar, me too. All right. Gary, good morning all. Grip for life. I've been waiting to hear some good things about Campbell. With his height and length, I thought he would excel in pass coverage, but he struggled at it last year. He did. But yeah, he's a rookie. Probably going to be some real learning opportunities for most rookies. Let's see. Kurt Broski Berra, I was in basic training during Desert Storm, 2 tours in Afghanistan. Well, thanks for all you've done, Kurt. Thanks for all your service. Phil, Dan is Dr. Wu. There we go. I'm Dr. Wu. That sounds like a TV show. Dr. Wu, medicine person. All right, Silver Server Coach, if you want to pick up the phone, we won't be offended. We keep you company. Thank you. I thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. All right, Broski, Kurt Steele, thank you for all your service, 100%. Patrick, as much as I don't like the Bears, you can't judge Caleb Williams on his first NFL camp. Yeah, so much will change between now and the start of the real season. From the real season beginning till about the halfway point, even the end of the year. So whole lot's going to change with him over time. Shannon, when you got a wife, who cares for a hooker? There you go. There you go. All right, Phil, will the big contracts cause a performance letdown? Question mark. Fear of getting hurt? I would hope not, but is it possible? It is. It is possible. Moodscar, how funny is it that you're trying the Woo Free Wednesday and Don Burr isn't here today, or at least not chatting, and Phil is cracking me up. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen Don Burr yet, so hopefully he's appreciating this. All right, Kurt, thanks for the support, 100%. And let me know when the show's up and running so I can hop on and try to help you out. Hopefully, we'll have to talk about things. Phil, yes, styling and profiling. Courtney Erlacher, Offendahl. Oh, man, Offendahl. By the way, he's from Western Michigan University. And Jack Campbell, all pro linebackers. Yes, man, John Offendahl. That's a throwback. And see, Phil, those Woos need a training camp. Yeah, they do. They need to get They need to get ready for the regular season. Silver Sudfield cannot stay on the field in regular season games. It is just too big for him. He can complete all the passes he wants in camp. Hooker, question mark. I think he is the opposite. Yeah, I think Hooker will improve exponentially between now and the end of the preseason. Ed, Broski Bear, my mom. All right, or my man. Sorry, Phil. Clear your throat with a great little lose long. Woo! There you go. That's as good as I'm going to do this morning. All right, Phil, loud, yes, 100%. Broski, Ed O'Neill, how you doing? Ed, good, and you? At Broski Bear, Ed O'Neill, I'm doing amazing. All right, Patrick, I'm hoping that we crush the Rams when we play them this year. Stafford totally ticked me off after last season. Yeah, I know there were some Lions fans that were less than happy with some of his comments and some of his way he didn't answer or address things after the game, but hey, he's no longer a Lion. Maybe when he retires, everybody gets kumbaya moments and everybody back on the same page. But right now, let's face it, he is the opposing quarterback. We're going to open the season up with him, and I see nothing wrong with wanting to just during the game beat him up, stuff like that. Knock him down, wish him ill will. But after the game, hey, be friends again. All right, DM5. Hello, Dan. Great show you out on my friend. Go Lions. This is our best chance to make Super Bowl outside of last year. Woo-woo. And again, woo-woo free. And yeah, I agree. We're going to have a real good chance this year. But again, you got to get to the playoffs, and then you got to have a few things go your way in the playoffs. But let's start off by trying to get home field advantage, get that number one seed. And good morning to you too, DM5. All right, Phil, boo the kids. There you go. They might, but I would say this. I know I've said it before. To me, there's no way those kids should be on a football field during a playoff game with a bunch of people been tailgating since, I don't even, 5-6 hours before the game, maybe even longer. To me, that was not wise thinking. That's just me. All right, don't look T-Bones, Lokes, what do you got? I'm feeling like the playoffs will start week 1, and attention will be the greatest test. Yes, attrition will be the greatest test. I'll go with that. Yeah, the playoffs, the road to the playoffs, and the number one seed. There are no off weeks. The first week of the regular season, you got to go out there trying to win as many games as you can. Because if you want, some other team is. All right, Ed, I'm a happy camper if we get off the field on 3rd and longs and I'm keeping optimistic with the defense, but I hope we have a strong defense. I think the defense is going to be pretty good this year. And yes, it'd be nice to get some teams off the field or prevent them from getting long drives over and over, which we did struggle with last year. Patrick, I remember when 45 and or 50-yard field goal kickers made everyone go, wow. Yeah, wasn't that long ago. And now, man, 60 is the new 50. If you can't hit a 50-yarder, man, you're probably not in the NFL anymore. So you better start hitting them from 60, or if you're Jake Bates, maybe even 70. All right, Jared, we got top 15 defense. I'll go with that. Ed, as a coach, how do you keep the players focused on the task at hand. Really, the players should be self-governing at this point, but it doesn't mean the individual coaches, the head coach, etc., can't keep them in training camp, practices, etc. Focus on the goal. Keep reminding them why you're grinding, because it is a long season, and it is human nature for most people to want to back off and say, "Hey, man, I'll get back at it tomorrow." Yeah, that's where a coach has got to help you find that inner strength to help you keep running forward. Keep running through that wall. Keep doing the stuff nobody else wants to do, because that's going to be the stuff, when you add it all up, that pushes you to the top. All right, Joseph. Yes, I said from the beginning of the year, I think Minnesota is going to be a lot better than what other people think. I think they might even pull off a number 2 spot in the NFC North. Now, that would be something if they get to number 2. They do have one of the hardest receivers to guard in all of football. Now it comes down to quarterback playing that defense. The defense is getting a little older, but it doesn't mean they can't make stops. Phil, has there been changes in the Lions medical staff? Not that I am privy to. Doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. I'm just not aware of it if they have. All right, Ed, let's not put too much on training camp and such. Rodgers used to, quote, struggle at practice on purpose just to see how much he could trust his wide receivers before it actually mattered. All right, yeah, fair point, Ed. Phil, produce the show all from Asia. Yeah, I don't know if that's good. I mean, I thought about trying to, while we're on the road and stuff, making it happen, but I just don't know if it's going to be really an option. So I might be able to hop on live from time to time, but I couldn't really guarantee that I could be on at 7:00 in the morning and do it for you guys. So trying to do the best I can, but hey, Sarge seems like he's pretty excited to be the step-in host for a week. Patrick, remember everyone, this is the first time our defense is facing our type of new defense as well. So if our people struggle against it, just imagine the other teams. Yeah, and I think you are going to see some teams struggle against our defense this year. Don, ban the woo, and hopefully you're enjoying, Don, a woo-free Wednesday. Joseph, have a great day. Duke Crew, back at you, Joseph. Go enjoy your day. Ronald, good morning from a Lions fan from North Carolina and originally from Allen Park. Enjoy your show. I see the offense approaching the greatest show on turf, end quote, level. Gaining confidence in the D. Yes, I think the offense is going to be, I think we all agree the offense is going to be pretty dang good. And yes, you're going to see the defense really rise this year. So hopefully you are spot on with that. Shannon, anybody worried about Goff and OTAs must be having a nervous breakdown. Hey, there are some Lions fans. It's probably a result of all the decades of struggles. You're always looking for the next thing that's going to tank the ship. So hopefully we get them all through that. Don, skip the Bears. All right, fair enough. Broski, Silver Server. It's Stephen Gilmore on the Lions, not Stephen Gilmore. Stephen Gilmore is a future Hall of Famer. Stephen is his younger brother. Get it together, dude. It happens, man. It happens, man. Patrick, have a ton of fun, coach, and be safe on your travels. We're going to give it a go, and hopefully I make it back. Pat, where are you going on vacation? Destinations unknown. So we'll find out when I get there, I guess. Let's see, Ed, TBH, I don't want to play starters week 1 of preseason, even rookies we play in MetLife. Yeah, I think with this coaching staff, as far as the preseason games, they're not going to play them. I could be wrong, but I don't think any ones are getting on the field. Motown, how about extra Woo Wednesday? There we go. Maybe, but at least today we are woo free. So, although today's show is coming to an end. Moonscar, bad boys, what you going to do when Brandon Pettigrew comes at you at a 7-Eleven near you? Yeah, I did see that, and thanks for shooting that over yesterday, Moonscar. Yeah, I don't know what happened, the full details, other than, Brandon Pettigrew really wanted the Mountain Dew pretty bad. Let's see, DM5, I hope we beat Cowboys and 49ers in regular season, but I hope we hold back a little in those games as far as play calls. That way we can unveil new stuff that aren't prepared for in the playoffs. Yeah, I would say most coaching staffs, whether or not it's holding back or just come up with new material for the playoffs, that could happen. Going to Hawaii, I can say it is not a warm environment that we are going to. So it's my kind of weather, which is, I guess, all rain, all no sunshine, stuff like that. So yeah, I was impressed that Jen wanted to go to it. How about that? All right, see, Motown Moonscar asked for a pick bet. Let's see, ask for a pick. Best tight end in Lions history before Sam Laporta. Okay, there we go. Best one. Let's see, Moonscar. Well, Motown, now you can go get his mug shot and add to your collection. Now, that's a thought right there. That's some outside the box thinking. Motown, you got a Moonscar somewhere is lucky. There you go. You got it, Moonscar. Shannon, let it woo. Rest sometime. Then man, wife don't want to hear that every morning. There you go. Some of you guys don't have a woman. Yeah, that might be. Yeah, it could be. Not everybody wants to hear the woo. Trump's snap into a Slim Jim Wednesday. Oh yeah. I didn't say it was oh yeah free. So there you go. Yes, way to get around it. Gary, how about woof? There you go. Woof. There you go. Joseph, thanks for all your service, Kurt Steele. 100%. Broski prediction: Hooker won't be in the league in 3 years. Could be. We will see. Chuck E. Cheese Campbell will get it going. Linebacker is a hard position to learn as a rookie, especially middle. I think he will be better than advertised. Yeah, I think he's going to have a significant improvement this year. All right, Kurt Steele, what do you got? Thanks, and it's Kurt with a C, named after my pops. Fair enough. Let's see, Phil. Calling Kirby dirty ended the love in Detroit for Stafford. Yeah, that and just, some of the other stuff, it happens, man. It happens, especially when you watch players from his own team hit guys low like that. It's just not a good look when you're chastising one guy, but you're looking at your teammate going, oh, but that's okay. So there's that aspect of it too. Chucky, what do you got? Goff has me forgetting all about Stafford. Yeah, at this point, man, Stafford's been gone. This will be the 4th season he's been gone. I get he was here for 12 years, did a lot for the city and stuff, but he's at least in my opinion, he's no longer the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. It's Jared Goff, so I'm rooting for Goff. Miles, Phil, yes. When he blamed Kirby rather than his own playing, it was so pretty petty and tantrum like that. I was done with Stafford. It's all over. Yeah, not going to do a deep dive on it, but yeah, the Stafford's the past. Thank you for your time here in Detroit, but it's time to move on, in my opinion. Phil, well, the strong side, the edge rusher, the defense will struggle. Yeah, I think we might have that guy. Phil, mile mark, yeah, thumbs up. Marker, correct. And Bo, the Duke crew has your back, Coach! Exclamation point. We will all show out for you. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you. Hopefully I survive it. Mile marker, yeah, Ronald, I agree with you. It'll be something. It will be. Hooker do. I agree, Miles M. I always rooted for Stafford until the Lions game. I lost respect for him. Yeah, it has changed some people's opinions on him for sure. What's Jen doing with her show? That I don't know. She hasn't really said. Maybe she's just going to pre-record some stuff and play them or set them to play. It's just harder for me to do that with the morning show just because the morning show is so interactive. It's not like me breaking news, whatever. I get some news out to you guys, and then we all have a conversation. It's just I can't record that and do it unless I'm going to just tell you guys, hey, we're going to do this live and then play it again on this day and time. Phil, woo. Yes, 100% woo. Broski. So, Dan, what you're saying is you're going to Detroit for vacation. I wouldn't have any worries about Detroit, man. Going there for vacation. I go there a lot and, never feel threatened or anything like that. There are some destinations I go to, though, that we'll just say, are a little different than others. All right, DM5, I never liked Stafford. Well, hey, you don't have to like him now then either. All right, let's see. Broski, let's not forget Stafford has a ring and Goff doesn't. It may be true, but I would say this, Broski, because people do bring that up. Don't hold me to all the numbers here, but Stafford got that ring when he was 33 years old. Maybe it was 34, something like that. And he'd already been in the league, 14 years or whatever it was. You get the gist. Goff's been to a Super Bowl in year 3 or 4 of his career. And he's been to 2 NFC title games all in 8 years or less in the NFL. So just to get to where Stafford finally got to his ring, as you put it, Goff still has 5 more years just to get to the same age or amount of years that it took Stafford. Goff in 8 years has won how many playoff games? Stafford never won a playoff game until his 13th season in the NFL. So sometimes we need to keep that in mind. It'd be like coming after, who's a rookie this year? Terry Arnold, and say, man, you haven't even won a Super Bowl yet. Dude hasn't even played a game yet. Stafford had a ton more time to finally get to that playoff win or Super Bowl win. So what we can say is if you follow the same projections for both quarterbacks, Goff is by far way ahead of Stafford. Look at winning percentage. Look at postseason wins. Look at how many times he's been to the Super Bowl. Stafford at year 8 in the league had what in the postseason? And what with the Detroit Lions? Let that sink in. I know you're a Bears fan, and you like to sometimes remind people, hey, the Lions haven't done this or that. So you can't come back and say, well, Stafford has a ring. Stafford has what with the Detroit Lions? Nothing. He did nothing in 12 seasons with Lions as far as postseason success. So I guess that's when it comes to the Goff Stafford debate, that's where I would take at least a moment of pause and remind people Stafford's been in the league a whole lot longer than Goff, even at this point. So I don't know. I look at it this way. Name a time Stafford won a playoff game when he didn't have 5 Hall of Fame players on his team around him. He hasn't. Jared Goff, is one with broken hand. Won a playoff game with broken fingers or whatever it was on his hand. And he didn't even start that game, and he came off the bench to rally his team to a victory. Stafford had the greatest receiver perhaps in NFL history and couldn't win a playoff game. One of the best defensive end or tackles, I guess, at that point when Sue couldn't win a playoff game. So there's those metrics, too, to consider. All right, Trumps, how cares what your wife thinks? That's pretty weak. Gross balls. Hey, I don't fight her too much on many things, and that's probably okay, man. Bo, happy trails. All done and dusted. See y'all tomorrow. Yeah, it's about that time. So, all right, guys, it's been over an hour. I'll go ahead and get out of here. See you all on the next one. But if there is some breaking news today, I'll get over to you as quick as possible. I am going to have a second video, probably middle of the afternoon. A player of interest. I want to see a little bit of how they do in minicamp today. But I think there is a potential diamond in the rough developing that we all are going to want to pay attention to. So, all right, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. If you would take just a brief second of time and hit the thumbs up button, try to get each video between 200 to 300 thumbs up, likes, whatever you want to say. Otherwise, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.